Hello, I'm Jochen Teppitz of Dieu Le Boeuf, partner doing energy work in Frankfurt. I'm here with Cord Landsmann, the CFO of E.ON Climate and Renewables. He's the responsible for organizing and the worldwide renewables and climate change investments of E.ON Group. And we were both participating just in the first panel of the M&A in the renewables sector conference. And I wanted to ask you what inspired you this morning and whether there is any specific message which you kept in your mind and which you would like perhaps to comment on.
What I learned this morning was what's really inspiring is from my side that renewables has a big role to play in the future, but there are also some challenges out. And what we just nailed down, I think, in the auditorium, in the panel was two issues. One is the mantra of cost reduction, to make renewables cheaper and independent of subsidies. But even more important, to find the money. And I think funding all the renewable activities in the future will be a key challenge. And the key question for us is that we have to answer is what is the right way of a partnership. A long-term partnership with other sources, pension funds, insurance companies, who can team up with renewable players and then fund the future of renewable energy.
Yeah, that was actually what impressed me, that everyone was so much looking at cooperation and joint investments. Is that realistic, or would you expect there to be at least some education period during which you have to tell other participants what you expected from them?
I think it's realistic, but yes, it's a big education. I think we are in the time now where we have to find money, and there are two worlds which are right now not clashing to each other, but they are really very different from each other. We have renewable player, operators, and we have, I think, pension funds and insurance companies which have, I think, the interest in a de-risked investment, which is, let's say, a long-term investment which matches their own liabilities and assets, but they have, I think, no real interest in having, let's say, an operator role. And they have no real, let's say, education so far. So it's a big point in educating the people and the partners, and also a big point in educating and, let's say, finding the right partnership models. Because it's also important to have, let's say, one model, a standard model, which can run for different partnerships, which we can duplicate and replicate. So yes, it's a challenge, and there's a big education now going on, but I'm very positive. So we're working actively on this, and we will see some, I think, fruits and some successes in the short-term future. But it has been quite challenging over the last 12 months to educate the new partners.
I thought the other remarkable aspect was really your statement on that these renewables can be competitive, that you're already producing in some areas of the world at the same price as conventional energy. Isn't that something which you should, as a big player on the market, which you should market much more, because it's a positive message that we are not depending so much on subsidies?
You can believe me, whenever I'm on any panel, I do this. Because it's really some myths still out there that we are so dependent on subsidies, that we are so expensive, and no, it's not the case. So we have clear targets in our company, we have clear cost reduction targets, we work on OPEX, on CAPEX, and getting better every single day. And yes, in some of our areas and technologies, we are already right now producing at the same cost as coal plants in Europe, which is very important, and I'm convinced we will get there over the next 5 to 10 years in different areas, in different markets. Northern Europe, Southern Europe, also on the offshore side. Maybe only post-2020, but there's a clear point, it's a must for us. If we don't get there, and we are still reliant on subsidies, we might not be there in 15 years. So yeah, I'm very outspoken on this one. We are there in some markets, and we are getting there to good parity in other markets, for sure.
So generally it's a very positive statement in view of all the financial crisis which apparently is happening outside. You're saying there's money out there, you just have to educate people who have the money how to invest it into your sector. You're also saying it's going to be cheap in the future, or at least competitive. This
is, I think, a good connection. We have to educate people, our partners, to be able to invest in these assets. And plus, if we achieve cost reductions, we are less dependent on subsidies, and with this, also investment risk is even lower. So also for pension funds, if they don't rely on subsidies and they can see assets which are running competitively in the long run, this is also for them more attractive. So this will also be, for us, a must and a condition to attract new money into this sector.
I think that's a really positive message, and thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the future.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Fantastic.